Video number 2 on the puzzle cube. You'll notice as you guys get better with Inventor, these videos are shorter and shorter. What are we going to do in this one? We're going to open the assembly file that we just created, and or we're actually going to open the project file rather, and we're going to open an assembly file in there. It's an IAM file in Inventor. We're going to place and ground the center red piece, and we're going to emboss the orange piece with your name on it. We might actually do step 3 first, and then we're going to experiment putting those things together, and I'll get you started maybe by putting a piece or two together. Make sure that we're working in that project file that we just created, and it was Puzzle Cube, H drive, so that should be it. And again, nothing might pop up at first. We got to open them first. So one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and open up and select the orange piece first. And the orange piece, remember, I want you to emboss your name on it. So I want you to emboss your name here and save that embossing, because this is a piece that we can show in that isometric view that we're going to turn in the snip of. So do that first and then pause, come back, and then we'll start putting this stuff together. So your name should be embossed here. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up something new that we have experimented a little bit before. We're going to build an assembly, which means it's a collection of parts that fit together. So here's the assemblies. We're going to do a standard.iam file. We'll click on that, we'll hit create, and it comes up blank. So we need to place the pieces that we want to put in there first. And I'm going to place first the red piece because that's the center. And it comes in there. I'm going to go ahead and click it and right click, hit OK. And I just want to put one piece in there. And I want to orient that red piece more or less in the same way it's oriented sort of in our exploded view here. And I'm also going to get rid of that work plane. So I'll show you how to do that. Once I have a piece in there, I can hit click on the piece and do a free rotate. And this will allow us to move it around any way we want. Maybe drag it down like that. So that's more or less like what we have there. This work plane I can sense is going to be distracting to me, so I'm going to expand in the browser the red piece, go to work plane, right click, turn off its visibility. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ground this piece. So this will be fixed and everything else will move towards it. So I'm going to go over it, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to hit grounded. So once I've done that, I can't move that piece around. Now I'm going to put one piece on a time, and I suggest you do the same. You might be tempted to put all 4 other pieces on there, but it really gets cluttered fast. So I'm going to place the next piece, and I'll place the blue piece. And there, right click and hit OK. And that's the blue piece. Let's go back to our diagram. How do I want to orient that maybe to begin with? I'm going to try to orient it this way. So I'll go to click on the piece, free rotate, and get it more or less like that. And let's experiment then a little bit with these commands. So this is the whole point of this activity, is we're going to experiment with these assembly constraints. And for this, it's just going to be this constraint, the mate constraint, that brings 2 surfaces together, and the flush constraint, that brings two faces flush with each other. So let me show you how that might look. One of the first things I might want to do is flush these 2 pieces, because I know when they come together, this face should be level and flush with that one. So I'm going to hit the flush face, and then I'm going to correct the 2. And you'll notice it brings those. I'm going to hit apply and get out of there. Now, because we're looking in 2 dimensions, it could be a little bit confusing, like what did it actually do? So sometimes it's helpful to sort of drag it around, and you can see then that these 2 top surfaces are now flush with each other. So we're on our way to assembling those things. Let's flush the next 2 surfaces. So again, constrain, and we'll do flush. Let's flush this with that and apply. And again, let's look at it, see what it did. So now you can see this surface is flushed with this surface. So maybe the last thing we'll see is we're going to mate the 2 surfaces. We're going to bring them together. So mate makes things touch. Go ahead and snicker. So I want to mate this surface right here with this surface. And again, we're going to use the assembly constraint and mate, which is this one. So this surface with this surface. hit apply and cancel. And now we can look at this, and those pieces then are lined up how they're supposed to be. Everything is flush and mated. Your task then is to add the other pieces so that we make that full cube, and then take a snip with your name embossed on that orange piece and put it back in that document for submission.